Hi, my dear friends. How are you today? Aaron here, bringing you your daily horoscope. We're going to putting this out early on Wednesday, as this is a Wednesday into Thursday continuation of what's going on, right? We have a very unique energy here today on Wednesday that's leading into this Thursday. Now, I will say in general, this week is a huge week for all of us, okay? This is a breakthrough, life-changing week. We can really alter our perspectives of how we view the world, of how we view our individuality as we are putting forth our efforts into this world, using our talents, using our abilities to create our life, right? And to create unity. Okay, now it's interesting when we look at unity. Okay, we got the sun moving from the 28th to 29th degree. Okay, it's almost spring. It's almost, right, moved into Aries. It's at the 28th degree here on Wednesday, 29th degree on Thursday, where at Thursday it's going to create a perfect sextile to Saturn at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Okay, now when we look at unity, okay, now this is the interesting thing between the parallels of Pisces and Capricorn, Neptune and Saturn, right? When you look at unity, you can look at a rainbow. Okay, rainbow warriors. An individual rainbow, okay, in its whole, in its unity, consists of what? Multiple individual colors, right? We see red through violet, and the spectrum, each spectrum in between. Okay, so to create this oneness, it takes the individual colors to create that, you see. So we are each a spectrum of this rainbow, right? And we are creating with our community this unity, this wholeness, this oneness. Okay, now this is a unique time, especially here on Wednesday, as we have the sun, or excuse me, the moon, we have Mars, we have Jupiter, we have Pluto, and we have Saturn and the South Node. Okay, so this is a super stellium that's going on right now, superstellium, all right, of planets, planetary alignments and involvements in the sign of Capricorn, which is authority, which is law, which is government, which is karma. Okay, and in such an array, I mean, the South Node is you know, at 4 degrees, but everything else here is in the last couple degrees. I'm going to take this back to Wednesday, okay, the 18th, and we're coming from Mars. Okay, this is our planet of action. All right, our planet of getting things done. This is, you know, the god of war as well as the passionate lover that's, you know, protecting his turf, protecting his, you know, family, the seeker, right? Mars is the seeker. Okay, and at 21 degrees, which is where Saturn was for quite some time throughout December, right? Where were we in December? Okay, and if you remember, if you've been following this channel from back then, we talked about surrendering. Okay, because it was Pluto at 22 degrees, just about this, 22:30, and Saturn was at 21 degrees back in December and January. Okay, and it's about surrendering. Surrendering to what? Some sort of authority, some sort of higher power. Okay, we're surrendering to it, you know, and that takes a lot, just that in and of itself, to surrender. You know, surrendering what? You know, my individuality. You know, we're not surrendering our individuality, but we're surrendering the concept of, you know, my green or whatever color I may be, blue, purple, I don't know, you know, whatever color I may be, my individuality unites with others. I must surrender to create this rainbow, to create this spectrum of light. You know, this awe. So we're in this interesting time, and the 29th degree of Saturn here, you know, one of my favorite books by Dane Rudder, the astrological mandala, you know, they talk about, or he talks about, this symbol being a meeting of powerful men making decisions right? For the collective. Okay, now if we aren't seeing that here around the world right now, this group of powerful individuals making decisions that affect all of us, these few colors are affecting the entire rainbow, right? And we have no choice right now but to surrender. There's what can we do? All right. And now again, let me come back for just a second. We're never going to have this again. We'll never have, it takes 18 years, okay, for the nodes to move into place. Now Mars will be in Capricorn in another 2 years. Jupiter will be here in another 12 years. The moon will be here next month. All right, Saturn will be here in another 30. But Pluto takes 244 years to go around the sun. 244 years in its weird elliptical pattern. Okay? And it takes its time moving slowly through, okay, to create change. Pluto rules Scorpio, all right, which is this fall season, autumn. Okay? Which things go inward. They die, perceivably die from our eye to blossom again the next year. The flowers die, they go down, they keep all their moisture in the roots and they blossom again the next year. The trees shed their leaves, they go inward. Okay, so now this has been happening for several years, since 2008, 2009, here in the sign of Capricorn, which is about government, which is about authority, which is about law and order, right? And we're going to continue to see, especially with Uranus down here in Taurus right now. Again, the first time it's been there since 1934, during the Great Depression, those years, 1934, 1940, right? Maybe 41 as it retrograded back for just a little while. But either way, these were difficult times here in the United States and difficult times, globally. We had economic crisis. Okay. We're also going to be dealing with a Pluto return. I'll talk about that more directly into another video, as Pluto is at 27 degrees of Capricorn when our nation was created. Okay, when we were unified, when this rainbow, when all the colors, the spectrum of the rainbow was unified, was here at 27 degrees. So we're going to be experiencing this dramatic shift in our government, right? It's going to happen, and we're starting to see that now. Again, we'll talk more about that in a specific video. But we are still there. We're teetering upon this time. So we're never going to have all of these. These are the three bad boys in the zodiac, as they say, right? And then connecting here with the moon today on Wednesday, whenever you're watching this video, into Thursday. Again, this is huge and changing, and our identity, our individuality, right? And as we move forward here, now the sun starts to perfectly sextile Saturn. Okay, this is a big deal. This happens, once a year, but here at the 29th degree, where things are amplified, and our decision-making skills are on the fence. We're on the fence about things, and we don't know how to act or which way to go, and being in this place of, I am blue, period, and this is saying, well, we are the rainbow together, united, and where we are at, especially with the moon now moving into Aquarius, is a need for community. How do we do that when we are quarantined? How do we be social? How do we be active? How do we use this energy to, we will see, and especially with Saturn squaring Uranus, depression. And it's unfortunate. We're going to see a rise in depression. And how do we help that? We have to be social. We're social creatures, right? We need to be unified within the community. It's extremely important. And yet, at the same time, authority figures, and for health reasons and others, we want to contain or dissolve a virus that could potentially be life-threatening for many individuals. Understandably so. How do we balance this out? There's no right answer. There really isn't. You know, I mean, astrology and the zodiac is the balance of all things. And there are paradoxes within that. You know, how do we balance a sense of being social? How do we balance our individuality, our individual rights, our individual freedoms? You know, when there is an authoritative figure in power that has an ultimate say over our sovereignty. You know, it's very, very interesting astrological times right now, and it's about getting our power back using this scarcity. We have Mars now conjunct Jupiter on Thursday and on Friday. Okay, it's exact on Friday morning, depending where you're at. It's exact on Friday morning, right? So we have our planet of expansion that you know, it's like, think of a balloon in a box. Okay, now this balloon can grow larger than the box itself. However, it can only expand within the limitations of the box itself. This is Jupiter in Capricorn, okay, ruled by Saturn. The box is the limit, right? And the balloon wants to expand. And Mars is over here saying, well, let's just blow more air into it, you know? And what happens? It pops. The balloon can pop. We can find ourselves again pushing against a wall that cannot be moved. We'll find there can be difficulty in this astrological aspect. You know, last time it happened, it was in Scorpio. All right, that was 2 years ago, January 2018. All right, so now here we are in the sign of Capricorn, where it's funny because Jupiter is at one of its weaker places, and Mars is exalted. So it's saying we want to break through like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, you know, busting in through the walls. And with the moon moving into Aquarius, there's a good possibility that could happen. We could be busting through the walls right now, saying, you know, coming in with our operatic voices. It's really, really interesting times. You know, we're also going to have this sextile in the morning between the moon and Chiron. You know, we're going to really start to feel this. We're going to really start to feel why community is so unbelievably important to us as a whole. You know, again, this video is getting kind of long, and I apologize. A lot of information going on. I mean, this is huge week. This is a huge week. Using technology to be social, setting up group chats online. You know, it might be something worth investing in right now or looking at. It might be worth, you know, that mukbang thing if you watch the Saturn Aquarius video, you know, where we're live chatting with groups of friends, maybe somehow playing a game together or socializing, eating dinner together through the computer. And that's not where we want to be as a whole, but during a time like this, what do you do? How do you balance this out? You know, and now there's you know, it's statistically proven, and here's some interesting stuff right here. I'll wrap this up right now, but that drum circles, you know, literally they put drum circles versus antidepressant pills, and at the end of this study, look this up on YouTube, please. At the end of this study, there were outstanding results in the drum circle, in the group collective coming together in unity, all the colors of the rainbow, all these spectrums coming together and playing their instrument, playing their individual thing. You know, that's the great thing about a drum circle. You don't have to be a musician. You just, you know, you just bang on things. That's why I love being a drummer. You just, you know, tap on anything. And just go along with that rhythm, go along with that, and celebrate. Life is a celebration, right? So we're trying to celebrate community. We're trying to celebrate this union and find another way. You know, the next 2 days here with the moon in in Aquarius and the sun about to burst into Aries, go time, it's spring. You know, we're going to want to use this visionary, our own unique visionary abilities to create flower, the lotus flower. Okay, we want to create the lotus flower in the mud. All right, and it's just like it takes the murkiest of mud to create the most beautiful lotus flower. Maybe that's exactly where we're at right now. Maybe we're all dealing with some sort of mud. We don't see anything but swamp, and then all of a sudden there's this beautiful flower that only grows here. Okay, so as Mars is connecting with Jupiter today, let's grow our flowers. Let's grow this beautiful lotus flower from ourselves. Let's spark our color of the rainbow and somehow figure out a way through this fog, through this murk, through this mud, to create beauty, to empower one another, to be there for one another in one way or another, right? And through the use of technology, we're going to make it through all of this, right? So this is a magical week ahead, my friends. Very, very life-changing week ahead. As always, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I wish you enough mud to make the most beautiful lotus flower. Okay? Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.